All right, so we're about to watch this video from Forbes Breaking News titled, "This is what happened at the White House briefing on mysterious drones, New Jersey Mayor Michael Melham." I just posted my full 44-minute deep dive video on the New Jersey drone phenomenon earlier today. It's here on the channel if you guys are interested in checking that out. But I saw this video pop up. It's from just a few hours ago. And I started watching it and immediately knew that I needed to come back here and kick the camera on and watch it along with you guys because I think there's some important information in here. As I mentioned in my deep dive video, my thoughts, my take on the entire situation is constantly evolving. I'm updating my opinion as new information comes in, and this is a pretty good piece of information that I feel like is relevant. So we're going to do another video. In the full deep dive video that I just mentioned, I talked about how there was a classified briefing that was going to take place, and the mayor of Bellevue, New Jersey here is going to expound on that briefing and talk about what they were told. Let's check it out.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Belleville, New Jersey Mayor Michael Melham. Mayor, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's a really interesting topic today because for the past month, residents in New Jersey and beyond in other Northeast states have seen drones flying by, mysterious drones. They've raised more questions than answers that we've received. So to kick off the conversation, can you tell us what you know?
Yeah, it does seem like the further we go along, the more questions there are as opposed to answers.
Sure. As you said, this started 4 weeks ago here in New Jersey.
Call me crazy, but it almost looks like AI. It's getting to the point now where you can't really tell. They're getting close with the AI. And as I watch this clip, I'm like, my brain is like, I don't know. I've seen some pretty crazy looking videos, AI videos of people that are dressed just like this, talking just like this. I'm not saying that that's what this is, but the thought just popped into my head, so I wanted to mention it right there. Pretty soon, I feel like we will not be able to distinguish between actual politicians addressing things to us in a genuine manner. My dog just groaned in the hallway. In a genuine way. I think it will be indistinguishable. We won't know what's AI and what's real. I do believe this is real, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that really quick because the AI stuff is getting out of control. Maybe we'll do a full video on that. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on AI. I've seen some crazy stuff, but let's get back to this.
And about 3 weeks ago, it really ticked up, I would say. So much so that last week, myself and about 500 other mayors here in New Jersey were invited to an unprecedented briefing down at New Jersey Police Headquarters. It was not only every mayor in the state, but it was also every member of our state delegation, our state legislature. So we were told when we got down there that by the time we left, we would know every single thing the state of New Jersey knows.
They lied to you.
Well, it could have been a 5-minute Zoom meeting because we know very little.
So apparently they didn't tell them anything in that first meeting with every mayor from the state legislature, lawmakers, important people, and they told them all nothing. So what does that tell you about people like me and you, the normies, the regular folk? Think they're going to tell us anything?
They know very little. So if you take some of the little bits of information they told us, but more importantly, sometimes what they haven't told us, we're able to piece some different things together. So the information has been slow to come. This past Monday, because mayors like myself have been really calling out for some truth here and transparency, we were all invited to a White House briefing. It was the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs. And that meeting went about 45 minutes, and again, next to nothing. I mean, literally telling us we're seeing things, mostly manned, a lot of misidentification.
Oh, we're definitely seeing things. People are definitely seeing things. And I believe they're also seeing, regular aircraft misidentification. That's partially true. I'll link the original video down below in the description for you to check out. But man, the more I watch this, I'm like, is this AI? I don't know. Now I'm starting to, I need to get my tinfoil hat. I think the baseball cap is starting to let the freaking radiation from the nukes into my brain.
Nothing to see here. Yet, the crazy part about that is that was on Monday. less than 24 hours after that, the House Intelligence Committee convened a classified meeting that lasted more than 3 hours. So questions mayors and myself have been asking, well, what did they talk about for 3 hours at a classified meeting with the Intelligence Committee about drones in New Jersey, yet told mayors the day before, nothing to see here?
Wouldn't we like to know? 3 hour classified briefing and nobody knows a thing. That's wild. That's unbelievable. That's more unbelievable than the drones are aliens, honestly. I said it before, I'll say it again. They know what's up. They know more than they are telling us. Something's going down, dude.
I'm about to cast it.
When there's nothing to see here, when that's said, that really makes conspiracy theories run wild.
It sure does. When you keep people in the dark and there's blatantly something going on and people's intuition, we're given instinct and intuition for a reason. Trust your gut. You've heard that saying, right? It's because people can feel in their gut that something's going on. This is not normal. This is not right. And it's not right for them to keep the American public in the dark, but that's obviously what they're doing. And I think we're going to find more evidence of that in this video right here with Mr. Melham.
But a lot of constituents, even lawmakers themselves, have seen things. As you said, you were able to piece together some things. What exactly were you able to piece together?
Yeah, that's another thing. You can say that there's nothing to see here, but when you have the actual politicians, the actual legislatures, lawmakers, governors, mayors, when they're actually seeing these things with their own eyes, people who have lived in New Jersey for, I'm assuming, a very long time and are well aware of the normal level of air traffic, when they're telling you that there's definitely something going on, it's just hard not to take them for their word. I mean, it's crazy for the government to sit there and tell these people that they aren't seeing anything. It's just nuts.
So we have a little bit of facts that we've garnered in the past month or so, especially in the last week, that we've really ticked up calling for openness and transparency. So here's what I know from our briefings. I know for a fact that we were told there are drones hovering over New Jersey's critical infrastructure.
Whoa. So there it is. By admission of our own government, there are drones hovering over critical infrastructure in New Jersey. Black and white, plain as day.
What is that?
Clear as crystal. What is that? I'd love to know. Are you AI? Come clean.
Well, here in New Jersey, we have 2 nuclear plants. We have
Nuclear plants. Still eating me alive. We talked about the pronunciation of the word nuclear in the deep dive video. We're not going to reiterate.
Picatinny Arsenal. We have multiple reservoirs. We have Trump Bedminster. So plenty of infrastructure here, plenty of top security sites here in New Jersey. We know for a fact that drones are over them. We also know, and this is a quote from our governor, one of the rare times he's actually spoken on this. By the way, I didn't mention that when we convened that meeting last week with every single mayor, the governor was a no-show. He had about 200 COVID-related press conferences, yet has been very, very quiet on this topic.
Governor Christie, is that right? He's probably eating McDonald's. Got dropped off by a drone. You guys seen that meme? Big T shared it. Crazy.
So we know for a fact that they're up there. Our governor, in one of the rare statements that he did make, he said that our New Jersey State Police helicopters have actually gone up, this was early on, and tried to actually pursue or try to get close to a drone, and the drone turned off and disappeared. Those are his words, not mine. We also know from our state police
It turned off and disappeared, being chased by a helicopter. Wow.
that these drones are not emitting radio frequencies.
Talked about this a little bit in the deep dive too. Apparently these drones are not giving off the same sort of radio frequency signatures that your typical drone would. So they're having a tough time figuring out how to bring these things down and how to jam them with our anti-drone technology that's currently available to law enforcement and government agencies. Crazy.
These drones are not emitting radio frequencies. So when people say we're seeing personal drones or we're
If they're not running off RF, what are they running on?
seeing commercial drones, and believe it or not, there is some misidentification going on. I'll give you that.
Sure.
But when people say that these are nothing but personal drones and commercial drones, it's simply not true. These drones are high tech, something like our government would have, or maybe a foreign adversary we have. They are not emitting a radio frequency, which makes it really difficult to track them, but makes it impossible to knock them out of the sky with a jammer. Because if they don't have a radio frequency, you can't jam them, you can't bring them down to the ground.
Crazy.
So who do you think then is operating these drones? Do you think it's a foreign adversary? Because this story reminds me a lot of the Chinese
You see that drone in the background right there?
spy balloon from earlier this year. Wow. Is it something nefarious? President
There's
Biden himself said that he believes there's nothing nefarious. Do you believe him?
I don't. Listen, the administration has said some crazy things. You got the president finally speaking on this thing. He said nothing nefarious.
The president ain't speaking on this. He has no idea what's going on. That fool is asleep at the wheel.
After the members of the House Intelligence Committee was briefed, they came out and they all towed the party line. Nothing to see here, nothing nefarious, no credible threat. However, the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee has come out. He said he believes they're Chinese drones. Yet another congressperson.
We watched the clip from the gentleman who thinks they're Chinese drones in the deep dive. It was the very last segment. I had to add it in at the very end because that came up after I ended the last video. I had to kick the camera back on. And here we are kicking it on again because stuff is just rolling in. This is only an 11-minute video, 12-minute video, by the way, guys. So this will wrap up quicker than the 44-minute deep dive. But yeah, we did touch on that in the previous video.
From New Jersey has said it's an Iranian mothership off our coast. So these are the top level federal officials that are giving us such misleading and different information. That's really the crazy part here. We can't get a straight story out of anybody.
So who do you think needs to be more transparent? Obviously, you think the federal government does, but do you think the state government in New Jersey needs to be more transparent? Do they know more, do you think, than they're letting on, than they're even telling you and other local lawmakers?
Our governor has been suspiciously quiet. So he says he doesn't know. The state police say they don't know. I believe the state police and I believe our New Jersey Homeland Security that they say they're not getting any information, therefore they don't know. I believe that. But yet, if I was governor of this state, I'd have myself in Washington, D.C. right now demanding answers from our federal government.
I'd be beating the door down.
Perhaps our governor does know something, but he's not talking. Somebody at the state level, if they know, needs to speak.
He's been told to be quiet. Keep it under wraps.
Definitely somebody at the federal level needs to speak. It's real, as you said it before, the lack of truth and the lack of transparency does nothing but fuel online conspiracy theories.
This is true. People are bugging out because they won't tell us anything.
The faster that we know the truth, the faster that these online conspiracy theories will actually start to quell.
My fear is that if they tell us the truth, people are going to panic even more. That's what I feel like they're trying to prevent. That's the only logical explanation, right? They're trying to keep people from freaking out, panicking, and clogging up every bridge on the way out of Jersey. That's what I really think they're trying to do. That's the only conclusion that I can come to. They know more than they're telling it. They know more than they're willing to tell us. Why won't they tell us? And all roads lead to the same place in my head. They don't want us to know because people would freak out even harder than they're already freaking out. It's really the only explanation at this point.
And you said earlier this week in an
Especially if they're our drones.
Interview that you think that they could possibly be looking for missing radioactive material. Do you still think that could be the case?
I said that I believe they're searching for something. So that's a kind of an interesting interview. If you actually listen to everything that was said, I know things got taken, out of context a little bit on social media, and
So he's going to clarify. Excuse me. He's going to clarify the comments that he made in the interview that we watched in the deep dive video.
I'm totally fine to clarify. Here's what I said. I know for a fact that we have drones that are hanging out over our critical infrastructure. Depending on your perspective on that, it's either cause for concern, or if it's not cause for concern, it's cause for comfort. Cause for concern would be you think it's a foreign adversary hanging out over our airspace. I don't believe that's the case. I believe these are our federal assets. I believe that just like through the Bush era threat levels, I remember the color-coded threat levels. We were at a certain threat level, we did X. A certain level, we did X, Y. So I think that our government...
Do y'all remember that? Like the threat level after 9/11, it was like green, yellow, orange, red. I think that was how it went. Yeah, I do remember the threat level breakdown from after 9/11. That was crazy. Wild world we're living in now, man. Drones, aliens.
Is aware of a threat. I think that we have the resources, no doubt, to put some drones up. When we were at a certain threat level, we did X, a certain level, we did X, Y. So I think that our government is aware of a threat. I think that we have the resources, no doubt, to put some drones up in the sky just to cover, look at our critical infrastructure to make sure nobody's, messing around inside there. I also do know that drones are flying in a grid-like pattern. Why would they be flying in a grid-like pattern? Only if they're looking or searching for something, or as we would say, sniffing for something.
There's that word again, sniffing.
You could put a drone up in the sky and it could be there for 5 minutes, take pictures and you're done. Or put a drone up in the sky, take video for 5 minutes and you have all your mapping you need. You don't need drones showing up in the same spot every single night doing the same grid-like pattern. Therefore, you're led to the conclusion that potentially they're there sniffing or looking for something. At that point in the conversation, it was brought up about missing radioactive material. Now, this is true. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not a rumor. Absolutely for a fact that the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Committee issued on their .gov website an alert for missing radioactive material in New Jersey on or about December 2nd. It was shipped, it arrived, damaged, and empty. Now, I never said that I believe we were out there looking specifically for that, but I have in other interviews said,
whoa, what if we're not looking for that? What if that's like a red herring? And what if there's other radioactive material or something? I don't know. What if the bulletin about the radioactive material is just like something that's throwing us off the trail and there's like something else bigger and more sinister at work here, or more dangerous, more deadly? Yeah, that's crazy to think about. What if that missing item really has nothing to do with it at all? But it's crazy that right around this time, some radioactive stuff was supposed to show up and it didn't show up, and it got freaking ransacked like the Italian Job, or freaking Ocean's 11 got in there and stole it, and then it's just gone. That's wild.
But the fact that we're up there sniffing for something means, in my opinion, that we're aware of a specific threat, and potentially there could be aware of something that came in through Port Newark, let's just say. It could be a suitcase nuke. It could be a dirty bomb, or it could be radioactive material. I do believe that our government has the ability to sniff from the sky via drones, and I do believe they're looking for something.
President-elect Donald Trump also believes that President Biden himself, the military, and the government know more than they're letting on about these drones. And
all right, watch over her left shoulder, right side of the screen. You're going to see a helicopter or an aircraft or something go by.
Said this, quote, "Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people." Why do you think there isn't more transparency? Why do you think the government wouldn't want to exactly say what's going on to squash these really wild conspiracy theories?
The only plausible conclusion you can come to is the fact that if they did tell us, we would be even more scared.
I just said that.
So I think they have to really come clean. I did see that President Trump interview. He did say that our government knows. He did say our president knows. More than likely, President Trump knows, because I believe he receives the same exact briefings that the president does.
You could tell by the way Trump was speaking in the interviews that he knows what's up. He was just keeping it tight-lipped, which is also, if anybody's going to let it slip, it might be Big T, but that's kind of jacked up that, but it's tough to take up for him in this moment. Obviously he doesn't have the authority to just tell classified information across the news, but man, if anybody was going to just come out and blurt it out, you'd think it would be Big T.
He's president-elect. He also did say, which was cause for some concern, that he will not be in New Jersey this weekend.
Yeah, that's eerie. That's kind of creepy. If he knows nothing, he sure canceled his trip to Jersey real quick. He's staying away for some reason.
That really didn't make people here in New Jersey, feel very comfortable. I'll tell you that much.
Does that make you feel comfortable? Because you're a mayor in New Jersey. When you're hearing the president-elect saying, I'm going to hold off on going to the state, what does that mean to you?
It's scary. Listen, our residents,
we're all going to die,
are scared. They're agitated. They're anxious. And they seek us. They seek the mayors. That's why those 500 mayors have all been rallying for truth and transparency. Because guess what? The average person is not getting to their congressman, is not getting to their U.S. senator, certainly not getting to any other official in state or federal government. They're coming to us. They're messaging us on social media. They're stopping us when we're walking around town. They want answers from us. And it's very difficult for us when we have to look at them in the face and say, we don't have the answers, but we're trying. We're trying to get answers from the state. We're not getting them.
Try harder.
We're trying to go to feds. You know, we've had one of our Congress people here in New Jersey, Josh Gottheimer. Interestingly, he's running for governor. Last week, he came out pretty strong, demanding answers from the federal government. Well, guess what? Congressman Josh, he sits on the Intel Committee. He was briefed in that classified briefing. He came out after that and said, really, there's nothing to see here.
That's crazy. Changed his tune after they told him what was up.
You can't have it both ways. You can't call for truth and transparency a week ago and then kind of clam up after you've been briefed. Clearly, something was discussed for 3 hours in a classified meeting. It only took about 45 minutes to tell the mayors nothing the day before. So what else did they speak about for another 2 hours and 15 minutes?
This dude makes some excellent points, man. He's breaking it down. He's speaking on it. Mad respect. Michael Melham. I don't know anything about him or his politics, but the way he's handled this, in my opinion, admirable.
Clearly, they know something that we don't know.
I mean, I'm in New Jersey right now. I know some people in my personal life who have seen the drones hovering above their apartments. So my final question to you is, what question do you have that you want answered immediately?
What are they searching for? I no longer question who owns the drones, who they belong to. I don't question that anymore. I have, enough facts that I'm aware of to draw some plausible conclusions. And I truly do believe they are ours. They're our government assets. So therefore, the question I have is, what are they doing up there?
I feel like that's where most of us are at this point. It's like, we know they're probably ours. We know if they're probably ours, if they are ours, then we definitely know what we're doing with them. So what are we doing? What are we doing here?
They're not up there normally. Why are they there now? And why do we have certain drones that appear to be on patrol, doing routine patrols in a grid-like format, and saying, what are they looking for? I'm no longer asking whose they are. I think we can draw that conclusion. I'm asking, why are they up there? Are you aware of a specific threat? If so, we need to know.
They're aware, and we do need to know. They need to spill the beans, man, so everybody can make their own decision about their own safety. Panic or not. I mean, that's my opinion.
Well, Mayor, I appreciate your transparency for sure. And as the situation develops, as we learn more, I hope you can come back on and join me. Thank you again for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So there it is, guys. I wanted to watch that with y'all and just give my thoughts on that quick interview with New Jersey Mayor Michael Melham. I think I've about covered it. That's where we are now. So that's it. I'll see you.